Hello and welcome back. I am Debbie Peterson of Getting to Clarity. And today we are talking about how it is that you can learn to say no at work. So, when I was back in corporate, we used to joke. We had a fella in our office, and he always said no to everything, no matter what. And his name was Jerry, but we just called him Mr. No because that's how he was known. And we were always thinking about ways to maybe trip him up and get him to say yes. And it's interesting, though, in hindsight, I now realize that his no's didn't always stay that way. They were his default, but it was a way of him taking in the information. So he had this space to think about it and then change his mind if he wanted to. And he did. And that was an interesting concept. I have also had the experience of noticing empowered women who can say no and say it in a way that doesn't come across as disrespectful or harsh or as negating you or your ask. And I have to say, that is beautiful to witness, even if it's happening to me. And as a high performing woman who knows everything that you are trying to keep in the air, everything, all the plates you're trying to keep spinning, if that is you, then no is necessary. It is not an option. Because if you don't say no for yourself, then you are saying yes to other people, other things, everything around you. And that's bad enough. But when you don't say no to support yourself from a mindset perspective, you are actually planting the seed in your unconscious that you aren't worth it. Oh my. Haven't we had enough of the negative Nellies in our heads that tell us that we aren't good enough, that we don't have what it takes, that we aren't worth it and more? And now we add to it by doing this and bringing this to ourselves. So, no, there, I said it. It's time to stop devaluing ourselves by saying yes to things we actually don't want. And it's time to learn how to say no at work and at home. So saying no allows us to take ownership of our actions and our results as well, being an empowered individual. But first, we have to learn how we can say no for ourselves before we can step into saying it no at work, because it's critical that we be able to say no when there's tough decisions ahead for our teams, for the company's vision. So being able to say no at work is critical as well because there are tough choices that will be required. So, here are some tips that I share with my audiences to help start them on the path of embracing the word no, because it is a journey, it's not a destination. Number one, know exactly why you're saying no. Be very clear about what it costs you to say yes. There's a sacrifice in there. And so it's not a reaction to the question, it is an educated decision. So when you say yes, it's an educated decision. When you say no, it's an educated decision, and you know how it is affecting you. Number two, don't couch it. This means when the answer is no, don't try to soften it overly much and say, oh, well, I'll try, or I'll see how I can work it in. If it's a no, then say so. Say so with respect, say so with kindness, because either you are putting the burden on yourself to try to figure it all out, how you can make it happen. And sometimes even you're kicking the can down the road because there isn't a way to make it happen. And then you've got to go back and say no, which can be worse. Number three, I want you to stand your ground. And it's funny, perhaps not all of the time or for you, but have you ever noticed that there are some people, it's almost like they don't hear the word no? You tell them no, and it's been just eradicated from the message, from their hearing, or they think that no doesn't apply to them. Be firm with your answer. And, sometimes these people are going to ask again and again to try to get you to say yes, to try to get you to change your answer, to persuade you, to influence you, to get you to go to where they're at. Be firm with your answer. Stick with it. No, I'm sorry. I can't do that at this time. Nope. I'm sorry. I'm not able at this time. No, I'm still not able to do that at this time. Even if it's the same answer and you sound redundant, just stick with it because you're less likely to get talked around and end up saying something you really don't like, probably like yes. The fourth tip is bargain. Bargain, leverage, negotiate. Sometimes you're in a position where you can't come out and say no outright. Maybe it's your boss that you can't say no to. But there are ways that you can come up with another option. So, for instance, it might sound like I can't stay late on Wednesday night, but I can come in early tomorrow morning or stay later tomorrow night. So, you're saying no to one option, but yet you're creating another option that works better for you. Another way to do this, how this could sound like, is that I would love to take this on. I see this as an opportunity. And with my current workload, I would have to shift some things around. Can you give me any advice or guidance about how I can do that? And kind of, the benefits of that is that they may not know what your full workload is. They may have no clue. So it gives them a glimpse into that, but it also brings them into the decision making. So that can be a strategy. And then the last strategy that I want to share with you is to start small. If you're not used to saying no, if you haven't built up that no muscle, then you've got to get yourself in the habit. And that requires time and it requires repetition. So practice makes permanent is what I say. Start choosing ways in favor of you whenever you can and start building that no muscle. So this is a process of letting out the empowered woman who is inside of you. Start letting her out and find ways that you can say no personally and professionally that allow you to move forward. Start using that no muscle. So I am Debbie Peterson, and I want you to know that this is a journey that I am on with you. I am learning myself to make better, educated decisions about what it is I really want, what it is that I value, what I want to say yes to when I mean it, and what I want to say no to when I mean that too. And I know it can be scary, especially when you consider all of the relationships that we have personally and professionally, and you don't want to damage those. But when you start using no as an educated statement and decision, it is liberating and it can be beautiful showing up on an empowered woman. So until the next time, here is wishing you all the clarity that you deserve and the power of an educated no. Be well, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.